Hey, hello people of Earth and my fellow newbie Android developers. It's nice meeting you and hoping to meet many more times. Don't forget to subscribe and let's start. So in this video we will be learning how to open a fragment from a fragment and a button inside a fragment. I'll show it to you quickly and let's create a new project and give it a name Fragment Demo. Just press enter. Everything will be going very quickly. So in this we will first create two fragments. Just let it load. My computer is a bit slow today. So here we will create a blank fragment and let's name it as, let's take this off, finish. So here there is a lot of extra parts which we don't need. So what we would do is we will just cut some of this is loaded and let's cut this part and now remove this part also. We only need one part here and that is the on create view, and we will make a view object here and inflate it with the layout we need. Fragment 1, comma, we will give it container and last one is false, and we will return this view. So now let's make another fragment. Let's name this as Fragment 2. Wait for it to load, and if you have any questions you can ask them in the comment section. I'm a free guy, I don't have any works, so I would always be ready to help you guys. We have to remove all this part. This is bloody creep, we don't need it. And same thing we have to do here what we had done in Fragment 1. Okay, let's close this and this is done. Now what we would do here is, let's go to Fragment 1. We need to make a layout here going to its XML file. Now I would remove this text view from here and introduce a button. Let's give it a text name. Now the second thing we want to do here is, let's give it a background. Initially I will just give it any color. Click here to change the color. Oh sorry, I needed to do this here. So now this has been done. What we would do now is, to differentiate that the second fragment has been opened, we will give background color to this one also. So background. Now just click on this small color you see here. Let's give it blue color. So by this we will know that the second fragment has been added. Now let's go on to main activity. Here what we would do is we will remove this text view, and here we will add a frame layout. Let's match it to the parent. And second thing what we will do is we don't need this constraint layout. Here we will give it a linear layout and just set its orientation to be vertical. Next thing, we never asked them for this, so we will just do match parent, and same thing we'll do for its height. Now we don't need these two properties, so we'll remove this and give it an ID fragment container. Now let's go to main activity, and here what we would do is we will take a fragment transaction. Fragment transaction is equal to get support fragment manager dot begin transaction. So by this line here, what we are doing is we are calling that fragment transaction, and we are calling support fragment, and we are starting the transaction. Here in this fragment transaction object, we will add a fragment, and the fragment would be r dot we would add this to the container, which is fragment container, which we made in the XML file here, this one, comma, here we need to say which fragment do we want to go on to. So here I will just write fragment 1, just close this with a semicolon, and now we want to commit this transaction. So here the work has been finished, and now when we move on to the second fragment, that is fragment 1, we have a button here. So let's give an ID to this button, ID button fragment 1. Now let's go to fragment 1, and here there is a small trick which you have to do. Button to instantiate this is equal to, you just need to give this view here and then find view by ID r.id dot button fragment 1, and now to this button fragment set the on click listener. Now this is formed, and here what we would do is again we would make a fragment transaction fr is equal to, now here what we do is, unlike in the main activity where we had this get support fragment manager, in this case we only need to call get fragment manager. We don't need to get the support here because this is the fragment class and that was the main activity. It extended app compat activity and here it extends the fragment class. So let's begin the transaction, and in the main activity we had added this fragment. In this case there would be already a fragment in the main activity. In this frame layout a fragment would be already inflated inside this. So now we want to replace it, therefore we'll go to fragment 1 and what we will do is fr dot replace. Yeah, so we have to just replace that r dot id dot fragment container and to the second fragment where we want to go, and just commit this now, fr dot commit. So we have finished with the coding part and we have also inflated the second fragment. So now let's just check it out how this one works. I just don't know why my bar is not coming up. So here in the main activity where we have created a frame layout, the fragment 1 has been inflated to that frame layout. So when we click on this button nothing is happening and I don't know why that's not happening. Let's check it out. Okay, so here by mistake we had written fragment 1. We'll just change it to fragment 2 and apply the changes and again see the when we would click next we will come to the second fragment. So guys, here the tutorial is finished. You can ask any questions in the comment section. As I told you, I am free. Thank you guys and you should subscribe to my channel because Android is not the only thing that I teach. I would be creating many more lectures, tutorials on machine learning and how to use it, in how many ways you can use it, where you can use it, and a lot more. So it's worth subscribing. Thank you. Meet you in the next video.